Okay. All right. Today we're going to use the social language development test. What do we say next? Sometimes I
Sure.
First, I will ask you to pretend to be a person in the picture. Pretend you are this girl. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that this girl is annoying and that I don't like her because she's scowling, so that's why I think that.
What do you see that tells you what she's thinking?
Her scowling.
Pretend you are this man. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that there's nothing on TV and I'm bored and I am not happy with what's on the TV right now because he's kind of smirking, like his face is like not happy.
That's the second question is, what do you see that tells you?
I know, I'm just trying to make it go faster.
So should I not be asking the second question then?
Not if I tell you, like include it in my response.
Because I feel like it's a standard test and I always have, you know what I'm saying?
Alright, then I won't give you the response.
Because like, I feel like it's a standard test, so we have to like ask all the questions, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, should we just start over?
Sure.
And then we'll start from this spot?
Mhm.
Okay.
I was trying to make it go faster, like I'll just include what she wants so then we don't have to go do it.
I don't know. Do you think we can do that?
I don't know. No, we'll just do it.
Okay. I said, crap, do I still ask this or not? Okay. Today we're going to take the social language development test. We're going to do the first section. I will ask you to pretend to be a person in the picture. Pretend you are this girl. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that this girl is annoying and that I don't like her.
What do you see that tells you what she's thinking?
Well, she has a scowl on her face, so.
Pretend you are this man. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that there's nothing good on TV and I'm bored and I don't like what's on the TV.
What do you see that tells you what he's thinking?
He kind of has a smirk on his face, so kind of looks annoyed.
Pretend you are this girl. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking I cannot believe what she just said.
What do you see that tells you what she's thinking?
Her face looks like it's shocked, like her mouth is open. She seems like she is in disbelief.
Pretend you are this girl. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I want to leave. I'm a little bit scared and sad.
What do you see that tells you what she's thinking?
Her arms are crossed and she seems like she has a concerned face on, like her eyebrows are a little bit furrowed, I think.
Alright. Pretend you are this man. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, I cannot believe it, or what is going on, or something like that.
What do you see that tells you what he's thinking?
His face seems like it's in distress, like his eyebrows are furrowed and he's kind of like squinching his eyes. His mouth is open a little bit.
Good. Pretend you are this girl. What are you thinking?
If I was this girl, I would be thinking, whatever someone just said to me, I'm asking like, are you serious? Or just kind of a sassy look.
What do you see that tells you what she's thinking?
Her eyebrows are raised and her mouth is kind of like squished. So it's kind of like, are you serious?
Pretend you are this man. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking I don't understand what the person just said, or I don't believe what the person just said, or what they're saying doesn't add up or make sense.
What do you see that tells you what he's thinking?
The way his mouth is shaped, like his lip is pulled up, so that's kind of like, huh? And then his eyebrows are furrowed.
Alright. Pretend you are this man. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, I wonder what is going on, or something I'm wondering.
What do you see that tells you what he's thinking?
His hand is over his mouth, and the way his face is, like his eyes.
Alright. Pretend you are this woman. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking what she just told me is very interesting. It looks like she just heard some gossip.
What do you see that tells you what she's thinking?
She's kind of smiling in like a sneaky way, and her eyes are looking up.
Good. Pretend you are this woman. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I am so upset about what just happened.
What do you see that tells you what she's thinking?
Her hands are up on her face, and her face looks like she's about to cry, or she's in distress.
Alright. Pretend you are this man. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I don't believe whatever I just heard.
What do you see that tells you what he's thinking?
His eyebrow is raised, and his mouth is kind of in a smirk, so it's kind of like, really? I can't raise my eyebrow though.
Good. Pretend you are this woman. What are you thinking?
If I was this woman, I would be thinking that, are you serious, or really, or maybe like, I don't believe what you just said.
What do you see that tells you what she's thinking?
She's lowering her glasses, so it makes it seem like she can see you, like she's really looking at you, and her mouth is pinched to the side.
Good. Pretend you are this woman. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I'm annoyed that he's telling me to be quiet or go away.
What do you see that tells you what she's thinking?
Her hands are on her hips, and her face is kind of scrunched, so it looks like she's mad or annoyed.
Alright, that's it for subtest A.
Yay.
Alright, here's the pencil.
Okay. So, subtest B, interpreting social language. I will ask you some questions about how people communicate. So, give me an example of a compliment.
You look pretty today.
Why would you compliment someone?
To make them feel better.
Show me a posture that sends a message. Why would you use that posture?
If I'm mad or angry at someone.
That was good. Show me a gesture that means you first. Why would you use that gesture?
To tell someone that they should go before me.
Show me a sneer. Why would you sneer?
If I was angry or disgusted with someone.
Give me an example of a sarcastic remark.
Oh, that looks good on you.
Why would you say that remark?
To be mean.
Give me an example of a compromise between two people.
So, if I had a dog and it was either my mom fed the dog or I fed the dog, we could take turns every day feeding the dog.
Why would you make a compromise?
So that we both aren't mad at each other and we both do some of the work.
What is hogging a conversation?
Someone not stop talking.
How would you know if you were hogging a conversation?
If I couldn't even breathe when I was talking.
Say, close the door using an irritated tone of voice.
Close the door.
Why would you use an irritated tone of voice?
If I was annoyed that someone left the door open.
Tell me 3 reasons to listen carefully when you have a conversation.
So that you know what the other person's talking about and you can respond correctly, and because you should.
Mark said, "Dad, we need to talk. I think I bit off more than I can chew with advanced algebra." What did he mean?
He means that he's struggling with algebra.
Jill said, "No matter how hard I try, Logan won't help me with my speech." Jacob said, "You're barking up the wrong tree." What did Jacob mean?
He means go ask or go talk to someone else about it.
Tony said, "Recently my social life has taken a nosedive." What did he mean?
That he has no social life.
Melanie is standing by her locker with her hand on her hip, staring at Jeremy and speaking very, very quietly. Jeremy is slowly backing away. What is Melanie saying and how do you know?
She's mad at him for something because she has her hands on her hips and he's backing away from the conversation.
Okay, that's the end of subtest B.
Oof. Did I fail it?
Honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Subtest C, problem solving. Listen to these problems and answer the questions. Your friend recently started smoking. The problem is, you don't want to be around smoke. What would be a good way to solve this problem? And why is it a good solution?
I would tell my friend that I don't feel comfortable around people who are smoking, so if they want to be smoking, then they need to not be around me or like leave the situation and then can come back when they're not smoking. What was the second question?
Why is that a good solution?
I think it's a good solution because my friend isn't smoking around me, so I get what I want, but my friend is also able to smoke, just not in my direct presence, so this person also gets what they want.
Good. You and your best friend were always together until recently. Now your friend is dating someone and doesn't have time for you. The problem is you miss hanging out with your friend. What would be a good way to solve this problem? Why is it a good solution?
I would tell my friend how I was feeling and then ask if we could schedule time each week to see each other. And I think that is a good solution because I get to see my friend and my friend knows what the problem is, and so a solution comes.
Weeks ago, you and your friend agreed to take a rock climbing class together. You each paid the fee for the class. The class starts tomorrow. The problem is your friend doesn't want to go. What would be a good way to solve this problem?
I would tell my friend that they should come with me, and if they really don't want to come with me, then I would find somebody else to come with me, because I don't want to make my friend go, but I want them to know that it's important that I want them to go.
All right. Your friend is proud that he recently made the swim team. Now, that's all your friend ever talks about. The problem is you are tired of hearing about swimming. What would be a good way to solve this problem?
I would try to make conversation about other things. I wouldn't tell my friend that I don't want to listen to them talk about swim anymore, because it sounds like something that they really like.
And why is this a good solution?
Because it's not hurting anybody's feelings, and hopefully it'll work.
All right. Your friend wants to try a diet and wants you to try it too. The problem is you don't want to go on a diet. What would be a good way to solve the problem?
I would tell my friend that I don't want to go on a diet, and then I would tell them that I still support them doing it, but I'm not going to do it. And it's a good solution because I shouldn't do things that I don't want to do, but that doesn't mean I can't support my friend.
Good. You and your friend both work at an ice cream shop. You both want to go to a concert on Friday evening. The problem is your boss says one of you needs to work that night. What would be a good way to solve this problem?
Flipping a coin.
Why is that a good solution?
Because there's no compromise in that situation, so leaving it up to chance is something that I think would work.
Your friend calls you all the time and talks and talks. The problem is it's hard for you to end the conversation. What would be a good way to solve this problem?
I would tell my friend that I needed to hang up for an important reason, like I need to go to bed because I'm waking up really early tomorrow, and I would be persistent and then hang up.
Why is that a good solution?
Because it's important that I get my sleep.
Good. Your friend often suggests doing things together that cost money, like going to Major League Baseball games or to the movies. The problem is you don't have money to spend on entertainment. What is a good way to solve this problem?
I would tell my friend that I am trying to save money and that we can do things that don't cost money and occasionally do something that does, but not so often.
Why is that a good solution?
It's a good solution because I'm being honest, and hopefully my friend will understand.
Your friend is always asking for favors, help with homework, money, and compliments. The problem is no matter what you do for your friend, it's never enough. What would be a good way to solve this problem?
I would continue to give my friend whatever they needed because maybe they're going through a tough time, something I don't know about.
And why is that a good solution?
Because I feel like telling my friend that they're too much work is worse.
Okay. Your best friend has been teasing a new student and is making jokes behind her back. The problem is you don't like it that your friend is being mean. What would be a good way to solve this problem?
I would tell my friend how I feel, and maybe she doesn't think about how her being mean impacts other people, so I would tell her.
Why is that a good solution?
Because if I think that she's being mean to somebody, that person is probably feeling bad about that, and it should be stopped.
Good. Your best friend has been physically abused over and over. He confides in you and tells you to keep it secret. The problem is, if nothing changes, that abuse will continue. What would be a good way to solve this problem?
I might encourage the friend to seek help, but if they don't, after some time I might tell my friend's family and hope that they can take care of the problem.
Why is that a good solution?
Because it gives my friend an opportunity to do something about it, and then if they choose not to, my friend's safety is more important, so I would tell their family.
A guy's pants zipper is down, and you and your friends notice it. They want you to tell him. The problem is, you don't want to embarrass the guy. What would be a good way to solve this problem?
I would go up to the guy and start a casual conversation and then secretly whisper that his fly is down.
Why is that a good solution?
Because him feeling embarrassed by me for a couple seconds is more important than him walking around the rest of the day with his fly down.
Good. Your school has many ethnic students. It's obvious some of your friends don't like a certain group of students. The problem is, you have friends in this ethnic group. What would be a good way to solve this problem?
I would talk to my friends and tell them why their behavior is wrong.
Why is that a good solution?
Oh my god. That was so scary.
All right. Why is that a good solution?
Because behavior like that isn't acceptable and needs to be addressed.
Okay. And that is the end of subtest C.
Okay. Okay, subtest D, social interaction. Listen to these situations and answer the questions. You and your friend are graduating soon. You've been thinking about a way to show your friends how much you've appreciated their friendship. What do you do?
You can make them or buy them a present.
Emma has a disability that makes it hard for her to talk well. Emma says to you slowly, I just got back from Mumbiff. What do you say to her?
How was it?
Lindsay, the chatterbox, corners you when no one else is around and you want to end the conversation. What do you do?
You tell her that you really have to go to the bathroom and that you'll talk to her later.
Mandy says to you, I heard you cheated on the math test. What do you say to Mandy?
It depends if I cheated or not. If I did cheat, that's bad. So if I didn't cheat, I'd tell her that I actually did it.
Two of your friends are arguing about something unimportant. What do you do?
You talk to them and explain that it's not that important and that there's bigger things in life than just the little thing they're arguing about.
A close friend tells you, my mom has cancer. What do you say to your friend?
That you're sorry and there's to support her.
You're at a dance without a date. Someone asks you to dance, but you don't want to. What do you say?
No, thank you.
Your football team has just won the semifinals. You want to say something to the team that lost. What do you say?
Good game. Yep.
Your friend made fun of your outfit behind your back. She knows you found out and apologizes. What do you do?
Accept her apology because everyone has different styles.
You and a friend disagree about who should be elected as president of the student council. What do you do?
You both have different arguments why, talk about it, and in the end, it's up to vote, so.
You're in the bottom row of the bleachers. In the top row, you see a friend who just moved back to your school. How do you get his attention?
You wave frantically, and if that doesn't work, you can try calling or texting him.
Dina just whispered to you that she heard that another girl, Jill, is pregnant. What do? You
receive the information and don't do anything with it.
Deb and Will have been friends since kindergarten. Recently, Deb has had feelings for Will that could be described as more than friendship. What could she do?
She could talk to him about it and see how he feels.
That's the end of subtest D.
Subtest E, interpreting ironic statements. Now we will listen to some situations on a CD. Listen carefully to each situation. The narrator will ask you what someone means at the end of each one. Alright.
Demonstration item. Carlos was waiting for his monthly appointment with a skin doctor. The receptionist said, "Carlos, you're next," but the doctor needs to return a phone call first. Is that okay with you? "That's no skin off my nose," Carlos said. What did he mean?
He meant that it wasn't a problem.
Number 1. Dan and Tina were making...
He meant that it wasn't a problem.
Right. Love technology. Alright.
Dan and Tina were making their grandmother's special cake recipe. Unlike a cake mix from a box, this recipe had many steps and many ingredients. Dan?
I can't. That's bad. He wasn't doing it before. No.
That's
Demonstration item. Carlos was waiting for his monthly appointment with a skin doctor. The receptionist said, "Carlos, you're next."
Are you kidding?
Unlike a cake mix from a box, this recipe had many steps and many ingredients. Dan said, "Okay, we roasted and ground the almonds. Now we need to sift the..."
What?
I feel like I should have ejected. And then
Yeah, we can just restart this part. And we can just, instead of fast forwarding, cause it might like,
Just play it.
just play it. You don't wanna put it in your library?
Demonstration item. Carlos was waiting for his monthly appointment with his skin doctor. The receptionist said, "Carlos, you're next," but the doctor needs to return a phone call. First. Is that okay with you? That's no skin off my nose, Carlos said. What did he mean?
He meant that it was not a problem.
Number 1. Dan and Tina were making...
What if we pause it and let it load? No.
Their grandmother's special cake recipe. Unlike a cake mix from a box, this recipe had many steps and many ingredients. Dan said, "Okay, we wrote..." Roasted and ground the almonds. Now we need to sift the flour 3 times. Tina said, "This cake may taste great, but it takes forever to make." Later they frothed. Frosted the cake and showed it to their mom. "It looks great," she said. "How was Grandma's recipe?" Tina said, "Oh, it was a piece of cake." What did she mean?
She meant that it took a long time to make.
Good. Should we just go get a new computer?
No. I don't understand why this is happening.
Number 2. Abel was trying to persuade his mom to let him keep a puppy. He said, "I promise I'll do everything to take care of it." His mom said, "I've already told you, I don't want any more pets in this house. We already have 2 cats and a dog." Abel said, "But this would be my very own dog. He could..." "Could stay in my room, and you wouldn't even have to do anything to take care of him." The puppy yawned in Abel's arms and closed its eyes. "Just look how cute he is. Please..." "Please," begged Abel. His mom sighed and said, "Give it a rest, Abel." What did she mean?
She meant stop asking. and stop, like, begging for the dog.
Number 3. Nikki's brother Kevin took a girl on a first date last night. Nikki was eager to hear how the date went. She asked Kevin, "What movie did you take?"
No, we're having technical difficulties with our computers.
Do you want to start it over again?
No. It's like 45 minutes long. So we're just gonna like try to crop it. Somehow. Thank you.
Oh, Amanda,
Yes.
actually, she had took her program on her math, and I know she's back, so she might have it copied a little bit.
Okay. For one of the tests then I got a CD. Alright, let's try that again. Okay.
I think first though, I say we keep the 3 that we've already done.
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want to import the songs?
Demonstration. Carlos was waiting for his monthly appointment with his skin doctor. The receptionist said, "Carlos, you're next, but the doctor needs to return a phone call first. Is that okay with you?" "That's no skin off my nose," Carlos said. What did he mean?
He meant that it was no problem.
Number 1. Dan and Tina were making their grandmother's special cake recipe. Unlike a cake mix from a box, this recipe had many steps and many ingredients. Dan said, "Okay, we roasted and ground the almonds. Now we need to sift the flour 3 times. Tina said, "This cake may taste great, but it takes forever to make." Later they frosted the cake and showed it to their mom. "It looks great," she said. "How was Grandma's recipe?" Tina said, "Oh, it was a piece of cake." What did she mean?
She meant that it took a long time and it wasn't easy.
Good.
Number 2. Abel was trying to persuade his mom to let him keep a puppy. He said, "I promise I'll do everything to take care of it." His mom said, "I've already told you, I don't want any more pets in this house. We already have 2 cats and a dog." Abel said, "But this would be my very own dog. He could stay in my room, and you wouldn't even have to do anything to take care of him." The puppy yawned in Abel's arms and closed its eyes. "Just look how cute he is." "Please," begged Abel. His mom sighed and said, "Give it a rest, Abel." What did she mean?
She meant that he needs to stop begging.
Number 3.
Good.
Nikki's brother Kevin took a girl on a first date last night. Nikki was eager to hear how the date went. She asked Kevin, "What movie did you take her to see?" Kevin replied, "She wanted to see The Perfect Date, but I persuaded her to see Attack of the Cobra. It was awesome. The special effects were great, and that cobra shot venom about 20 feet. Yeah, sounds like a real chick flick, said Nikki. What did she mean?
She meant that it wasn't a chick flick at all, and probably not what the girlfriend wanted to see.
Number 4. Eric sat at the kitchen table. He had just pushed back his plate after finishing his breakfast. Sophia came in carrying a huge load of clean laundry. She dumped the clothes and towels on the counter. She asked Eric, "Would you please help me fold these?" Eric said, "I would, but I'm digesting my breakfast." Sophia looked at him and said, "Yeah, I can see you have your hands full." What did she mean?
She means that he's just being lazy and isn't doing anything and does not have his hands full.
Good.
Number 5. Jeff was shopping for a suitcase at Suitcases Supreme. He told the sales clerk, "I'd like something lightweight and strong." "Oh, I have just what you're looking for," said the sales clerk. He walked to the back of the store and held up a dark green suitcase. "This suitcase is lightweight, durable, and it's our most popular model. I only have this one left." Jeff looked it over carefully and said, "Hey, it has scratches on it, and why is this corner dented?" The sales clerk replied, "Oh, that's just the way the designers made this model. It makes it easier to spot your suitcase at the airport." I don't buy that," said Jeff. What did he mean?
He means that he doesn't believe what the salesman is saying.
Good.
Number 6. "I can't believe I accepted another babysitting job for the Taylors," said Mindy. "Those kids drive me crazy. Last time they smeared green finger paint all over the kitchen. Ugh! I'm going to be there all day Saturday." Diana said, "I'm green with envy." What did she mean?
She means that she's not envious and is feeling bad for the other girl.
Good.
Number 7. Todd and Mike each campaigned to be elected president of the student council. Todd was excited when he was announced the winner. "This is awesome!" Todd exclaimed. "All that campaign work paid off. I won!" Mike said, "Yes, you did. The vote was 93 to 90. You won by a landslide." What did he mean?
He means that it wasn't a landslide and that it was only by 3 votes, which is really close.
Good.
Number 8. Logan and Gail were talking about their science test this afternoon. Logan said, "I studied most of the weekend. This is a huge test. Did you study much?" "Oh yeah, I studied last night from 7 until 8, Gail replied. "Wow, you really burned the midnight oil, didn't you?" said Logan. What did he mean?
He meant that he didn't spend a lot of time studying and thought that 1 hour was not a long time.
Good.
Number 9. Ethan and Sophia were planning a surprise dinner for their parents. Sophia said, "I can buy the ingredients, make the cake, fix the salad, and bake the garlic bread." Ethan said, "Oh, I'll set the table." Sophia said, "Don't knock yourself out." What did she mean?
She means that he's not doing much of anything and she's doing a lot of things and he's just gonna set the table, which is not a hard task to do.
Good.
Number 10. Zoe was cheerful this morning. She walked with her friend Anna to school. Anna said, "I stayed up really late last night studying for our Spanish test today." Zoe said, "What test? We don't have a test until next week." Anna said, No, don't you remember? Mrs. Garcia changed the test to today. Zoe said, "Oh, now I remember. You just made my day." What did she mean?
She meant that her friend made her day worse and not better.
Good.
Number 11. Jacob told Ralph about his job interview. Jacob said, "I was so nervous. My palms were sweating even before I met the interviewer. Then, when I walked into his office, I tripped over a rug." Ralph said, "Wow, you really put your best foot forward." What did he mean?
He meant that he made a bad impression.
Number 12. Dylan asked Pete, "Hey, how are you and your new stepbrother getting along?" Pete said, "Well, I like to play music and have friends over and shoot baskets. He only likes classical music and prefers to spend time alone and doesn't like sports." Dylan said, "Well, I can see the two of you see eye to eye." What did he mean?
He means that they're two very different people and don't like the same things.
Good. That is the end of subtest 3. Solid. Almost stopped the video.
Okay.
When I control off, it stops. Okay. Don't take it out though.